It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Indianapolis Colts and the Miami Dolphins. Coming up next.
We are about 15 or so miles northwest of world-famous Miami Beach as we are set for football at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. Today, two AFC teams set to do battle. It should be a good one, as it'll be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Miami Dolphins. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis, thrilled to be with you from the broadcast booth. And partner, before we get this thing started, what are you going to be watching?
Who gets off to a fast start? In horse racing terms, they talk about catching a flyer out of the gate. Who sets the pace and makes the other team chase?
Here's the punter, Rigoberto Sanchez, on to get us started. And we are underway from Miami. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins take the field with Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback from Alabama, at the helm.
This is what this man was born for, the big spotlight on the national stage like this. Really, his entire career has demonstrated incredible poise, no matter what type of situation his team was in. No situation is too big for him, and you can tell in the way that he takes the field. His self-belief is evident, and he gets the job done in his mind each and every time.
And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. So the big play nullified, a legal forward pass.
And maybe we know why they were able to get such a good chunk of yardage on that play. That pass was illegal.
On second down, Mostert. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. 1 yard is the loss. They back up even further to a 3rd and 15. Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And right away, he lost the football. One of the linebackers has got it. That play just looked a little helter-skelter from the start. That's the risk as a quarterback. Once you take off with that football, you might fumble it, and he did.
And he was going for the reward, which is gaining yardage, breaking down the defense. But you're right about the risk. Always lurking out there, someone always trying to get to the football. Try to find a place to cover up and slide and protect what you've earned.
2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism.
He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field, down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. If you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Minshew. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Jalen Phillips, now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Well, they're sending out an early memo that points are not going to be easy to come by in this one. A block here in the opening quarter, and what a block it was.
I love how you talked about sending out a memo. I know of one special teams coach who leaves a note in the lockers of guys he wants on his special teams. A direct invitation to them. He wants them to have the pride in what they're doing. This group showed it right there. A big effect on this game.
Ready.
On first down, Tagovailoa. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17.
Well, certainly as a fan, you get a little bit nervous when you see him make those kind of throws. But they work on that in practice more than we know. And most of them now know their limits and know what they can get away with. And there's a completion right there.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Now a 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. And the Colts are going to take over with a football. Well, that was a long attempt to begin with, so the fake you might have known was somewhat of a possibility. Credit to the defense, though. They weren't fooled.
You're right, they weren't fooled, and they were in a position of having to play it both ways. Gone for the fake, but you still want to rush the kicker because it was a makeable kick. So they ended up getting the best out of the whole thing, stuffed the fake, and they take over the ball.
2nd down, another run with Taylor. And I think the ball's out. And this is picked up by the Dolphins.
You remember in preseason when we were going to the different training camps and visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills, and, you know, guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And, partner, I know so far, and we're still in the first half, but you love this game as a defensive guy. 0-0. We'll see if the offense can get going on this drive.
Well, you know how they talk about music to your ears? How about what it does for your eyes when you watch something like this, right, where these teams are locked in and going at it, no points going up on the scoreboard? I'm loving it. You're exactly right.
Well, switch over, though, to an offensive mindset for a moment. What do they need to do here to get on track and get some points?
Well, I think a couple of ways. Number one, you pull out something that maybe they haven't seen before. Coach is always talking about unscouted looks. Maybe you give it.
This is caught inside the 15. And that's a touchdown, but hold on. There is a flag down on the field. We'll have to see what this is about.
Illegal forward pass. Offset.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
Maybe worse than the loss of yardage, they also lose the down. So now it's 3rd and long. A run straight ahead with Achane. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. So on 4th down, here's Jake Bailey to punt for the Dolphins. The deep to return is Josh Downs. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. Well, pretty woeful there. Just 23 yards on the punt. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. They work now on 2nd and 9. Minshew sets to throw. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Jalen Phillips. What a start to this ball game. Still in the first quarter, and he now has 3 sacks, on pace for double digits. No score after one on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Colts in possession. A tough spot here, 3rd and 15. Now Minshew. This will be taken in by Michael Pittman. A big play there for Indy, and even 40 yards.
One of the first big plays we've seen in this football game, and could that be the play that gets this game jump-started? It's taken a while as both teams have tried to settle in. Maybe now the pace will accelerate.
Throwing on first down is Minshew. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. Out of the gun is Minshew. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Their partner guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
And Minshew with nowhere to go, and they take him to the ground. Bradley Chubb drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. On 4th down, the Colts will call out Rigoberto Sanchez for the punt. Braxton Berrios deep for Miami. And a good result there as that'll get out of bounds and pin them back at their 10-yard line. So well done there, and these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do, and now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
A nice effort and an even nicer stop from Kwity Paye.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great. Because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
They'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a first down.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now, that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push the ball downfield, and that's what they did. And they wound up with good yardage there to get things rolling.
DeForest Buckner using that size to force his way in there and make the stop behind the line. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Now Tua. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line, 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Through the middle of the field. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up the 1st and goal.
And what a letdown after a huge play. He's going to pull this in and then set sail for the end zone. And he nearly made it, too. But he's going to be tracked down just short of the goal line. So big play there that's going to set him up with 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Going to the air, Tagovailoa, buying time, and he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Tua Tagovailoa punching it in from a yard away. And the Dolphins post the first points of the ball game as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And Dallas Flowers going to bring this out of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Brings up 2nd and a yard at the 26-yard line.
Looking to throw it. Minshew. A throw for Pittman is intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one, picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Tua now on first down. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Tua wants to throw it on second down. They'll get this into the hands of Mostert, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Tua looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Durham Smythe from 13 yards out. And the Dolphins will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Sanders on for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Colts going to take over now late in this first half. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And Minshew with nowhere to go, and they take him to the ground. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. They'll come up now 3rd and 9. He'll look to throw. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
As Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away. And here comes Berrios. So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you up to Orlando to check in with an abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. A 2-touchdown game, 14-0 to score as we get rolling again here in this second half. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. And the Colts going to take over on offense to begin this third quarter. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. They're going to look to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
From the gun, Minshew to throw. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Bradley Chubb picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up. Here's Berrios. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Achane gets it from the gun. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, there's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
No surprise to see his sideline fired up by that big play. Heck, we're fired up, and we're supposed to be neutral. That's a quarterback putting his body on the line to fight and just barely get the 1st down. When he does something like that, it gets everyone ready to lay it all out there and try to match his intensity.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A very solid gain of 27.
Now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
From the 4, it's second and a couple. Tua going to keep it on the draw. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Tua Tagovailoa, a 40-yard touchdown scamper. And the Dolphins have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is pretty similar to the Wildcat plays that were bouncing around the league circa 2008 or so. The idea here, just snap it right to the guy you want to run with it. In theory, you're getting yourself an extra blocker. And here, that Wildcat runner is your quarterback. And he takes it into the end zone.
Sanders now to add the extra point. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And that one goes virtually nowhere. Tried to fake extra point, but nothing comes of it.
Well, I have to admit, I'm scratching my head a little bit here trying to make sense of what I just saw. Number 1, huge lead. Just kick the extra point and be done with it. Number 2, if you are going to go for 2, just line up and go for it from the 2-yard line. Why make it so difficult? That's a long way to go to try and pick up some points.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped it to 14. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's second and 4. Off play action, it's Minshew. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Devon Achane taking it in from the 20. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So they're able to capitalize there on the short field, and that might prove to be the score that turns out the lights.
The party's over. Oh, sorry about that. That's an old reference there, folks. But, yeah, they've been the better of the 2 teams by far, and that's great complimentary football right there. Defense gets the turnover, sets up the short field, and the offense goes right out and scores to open up a pretty sizable lead.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And the Colts coming out now. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time multiple guys get to it.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now. And if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Running straight ahead, Taylor. And space opens a bit as he gets it across the 15 to the 17-yard line. That'll net 7 yards on the ground, but it'll leave him with a healthy distance still to go on 3rd down.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. So 3rd and long, here's Minshew. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this 3rd quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here. And that one, it backfired in a big way.
Sanders on for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. And the Colts getting ready to go. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They'll go play action here with Minshew. And that is incomplete.
And you can tell just by looking at them that this offense is a frustrated unit. Things are really unraveling here, and as a head coach, time to earn your paycheck. You've got to find a way to keep it together as that brings up another 4th down.
And this one will wind up being down just outside of that 20-yard line. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. Back now in Miami. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. 1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive. You just kind of feel for the defense right now, this deficit. They have not been able to stop them the entire game, Charles. And some hands on hips, some long faces out there on the defensive side. They're like, oh my gosh, we got to face these guys again here.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is when you're on the side that's being dominated to keep your head up and continue to play hard. And that's what they're going through right now, trying to find that pride inside of them to allow them to continue to fight, even though they are down huge in this game.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
At this point, this offense feels like they could just roll out anything, and it would work. They are certainly in no hurry for this one to end, not when they can rack up some stats and continue to add to their lead.
Out of the gun, here's a give to Achane. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Colts territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa. Out to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Samson Abukum. He's the culprit, dropping him for a 2-yard loss. And this offense on third down today, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. He'll buy some time right. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Partner, you and I have struggled with this for years. You've got the lead. Just take care of the football and burn some of that clock. But there's something to be said for not taking your foot off the gas as well, because you can never have too big of a cushion. That one, though, falls incomplete.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And sneak attack. They're going to run for it. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. A defensive breakdown allows a pickup of 16 on 4th down. So they snap it straight to the up man. What's his responsibility? Normally, obviously, just to protect, but he's got to be a guy that can be pretty agile too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, because you're talking about a guy, even in protection, he may have to slide up and down the line of scrimmage to pick up someone who comes through trying to block a punt. So you know he's got that ability to move, but oftentimes it's a running back, a fullback, someone who's used to having the ball in their hands, and he's able to pick up the first down.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier. He wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
This offense has had a lot to like in this game. I don't know that last play, though, is going to make the highlight reel.
It's not going to make the highlight reel, but it will be the focus of the film session that the team has to sit through. I've sat through those before. Never any fun. You're always excited about your good plays, and they actually fast forward through those. All right, that was good. All right, great. They get to the bad ones and really illuminate them. Not cool.
Partner, even I can figure out who deserves the lion's share of credit for their lead right now, because he has been terrific in a dual threat role, really chewing up yardage and getting them points with his legs. Simply put, that defense has had no way of stopping him. And they
are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. They seemingly just continue to score at will. And as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
And I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ballgame.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive goes a full 80 yards in 10 plays. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins.
Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Indianapolis offense ready to go again. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while, but everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
Here's Minshew. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
A yard all they need, but it's third down.
They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on for the 5th time here today. And taken right on the 30. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. Found good room to run there. Returns it 14 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a 1st down. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they're powering through, and they're controlling this game.
He'll head out of bounds inside the 10, mark him down at the 9. 50 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. That's the run he's been waiting for, Charles. He's been bottled up all game. That run alone got him more yards than he had in all his previous carries combined.
And don't think for a second he doesn't know that, because every back that I know can almost calculate every yard with every step that they take. Had to be frustrated because of what's happened during the game. Has to feel a lot better after that run.
Here's Mostert. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Oh, he fakes a spike.
And that's going to be caught. How about that when they fake the spike, and it winds up a touchdown? Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the 4th, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
I'm not a big believer in 110%, but it certainly applies here, doesn't it? Because some guys just can't go with less. As long as there's time left on the clock, they're pushing to get to the end zone one more time. They don't really care about what the optics show. They just want to finish the game off the way that they like to play it. Full speed, all out.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
Kickoff concludes the ball game, partner. One side, a really nice win in this one. They were good on offense and on defense.
And I'm guessing in the other locker room, partner, the head coach is telling his team, hey, we didn't play well enough to keep it close enough where that one possession down the stretch might have given us an opportunity to win the game.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis.